How did you find it, Jess?
It's easy, it's handling.
It's easy.
We're Jess and Dan, and together we bought a semi-falling down farm in Scotland, and over the next 2 years we're going to try and make at least parts of it into a family home for us and our animals. If you don't want to miss an update, subscribe, hit the bell icon, but for now, let's see what we go up to this time.
It's dry weather, so we're going to do some strimming around the farm. We are on the lookout for a second-hand strimmer that'll be a bit more friendly to my back and things than the little one that I've got at the moment. But for now it does the job, so we'll crack on and get some of this stripped around the farm buildings.
Whilst we watch Dan go ahead and start this project, we need to cover off a few little things. So I need to bring you guys up to date on some stuff that we're going to do. We have a large number of buildings here. It's not like we're just doing a renovation with just one house and a small garden, or just one house and a large garden, or two houses, or converting flats into houses. We have a full farm, and all of those buildings need maintenance. At the moment, we're preparing for winter because winter's going to hit us fairly quickly, and Dan is convinced that nobody's going to want to watch all of our winter prep work in terms of repairing all of the buildings. We're going to lose at least 2 probably this winter, largely down to their roofing. We'll probably lose 1 to wind if something's not done with it either, and there's multiple other problems to deal with in the short term. Honestly, the list is freaking endless. So in terms of our mortgage, you guys know about that. We're needing a commercial mortgage, which means that we need to have commercial boxes ticked off, and part of that is in terms of the building. So we are going to focus on those, and nobody really wants to watch that. We will be chipping away at other things. We're waiting for electric in the main farmhouse to be able to carry on up there, and we have plans in place for everything. Whilst we will still share major things on here, we are going to also be posting to TikTok just with shorter updates to keep everybody updated with the little bits that we'll easily have time to create. So that's our current thought process, but we live in southwest Scotland and the plants grow like freaking crazy, which is beautiful, but also they need to be maintained, controlled and taken kind of under our wing. And therefore we're going to work on some of the outside stuff and some of the prep work for winter this time, just to sort of give you a little bit of a flavour. There are some other things as well, but we're in pony prep and winter prep before we look at doing more internal work.
So that's the first chunk of the garden strimmed and then raked up. Just need to collect it up into a ton bag and put on the compost heap. Then we will continue doing exactly the same on the other 3/4 of the garden before I get the mower out, and that's when I'll join you again, because I don't think you want to watch me just strim and rake up the rest of this. Bushes will be staying in place for now till we decide what we do, but we've got a lovely weeping willow that'll be nice in a few years hopefully. Strimming and raking up is done. For those eagle-eyed viewers, yes, we are on another day, but as you can see, the grass is looking better, and now it's time to attack it with this.
Did Dan modify our second-hand ride-on lawnmower to make cutting the grass easier? Yes. Did it fit his long legs in it? No. But never mind. It seems to work quite well, actually. We just took part of the cutting deck off to let it throw out. We're not bothered about getting a backfirer.
Well, we've hit a problem. The lawnmower has caught some hidden chicken wire and got well and truly stuck. We're going to have to get it up on a ramp and untaffle all the chicken wire.
The ramp was Dan. I did the untaffling. And we switch over straight into No Electric Day. No Electric Day was an experience for us, and I started with doing some kitchen planning in the cottage. We're doing this on a budget. We're going to try and retain as much of the existing cupboard carcasses and doors as possible. There's quite a few that are damaged. So what I did was I started by measuring out all of the different units and plotting them all into one InDesign document. I just find InDesign easier. I then work out and draw out the entire kitchen with all of the fixtures and finishes. And when we had that completely sorted, I did a rough plan and then showed Dan. Show you my plan or not?
If you want to show me a plan, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. He wasn't super enthusiastic about going through this walkthrough. However, I continued onwards with his amendments, and we've worked out that we're clearing one side for a dining area and retaining as many cupboards as possible on the left side. So that was sorted. Actually quite happy with that, and that's done. And then my laptop was going to die, and with no electric, I headed outside to help Dan with the cottage garden massacre. This project is very, very important because we need to get to the fences to replace them, and the plants were just completely out of control after having a couple of years left to their own devices. So we're kind of starting right from the beginning, being careful to not disturb any nature. So we've delayed this because the bees were active. Now the bees aren't active. We've started our clear up project, and leaving Dan with the chainsaw, I took over either raking, clearing or hedge trimming, and that was an experience. Forgot how to do it. Forgot how to do it.
Huh?
I've forgotten how to. Oh, we're working it out. I just forgot.
Split that switch up. Shouldn't have split it up.
You're blocking the camera so no one can see me fail. I've had it.
Do it again. No. If you're struggling, that'll just make it easier for you.
Oh.
You don't have to rush. Put it on the floor. Put it on the floor.
But it rad, and it'll rar into the grass.
It'll be fine.
Can I put my foot there?
If that's what makes you feel better.
Yeah, it does, really does. I broke it.
Check the fuel.
I think it'll be fine. I think it's me. Oh, how? Why? I held it
Do
down.
it again. We'll start it. With
my hedge trimmer skills prepared, I'm not that good at this, but a lot of these bushy bits were really tough and it wouldn't let the hedge trimmer thing go through it. So I did have to resort to asking Dan to come and help with the chainsaw, but we chipped at it piece by piece, bit by bit, and made sure that we were relocating any wildlife that we found. There was one vole. He was already running on the grass and sort of nowhere near this bush, but I did move him over to one side. But we're trying to be really careful to make sure that we're not disturbing anything that's nesting, anything that is feeding, anything that is using something as their actual house. And we will leave it until that period is complete. You'll see something on that in a second. Clearing this section was important because it's really, really, really close to the external boiler that sits on the back of this property. And we have to make sure that that doesn't get encroached by leaves or plants or trees or branches or anything like that. And so taking this part back was important. Was it full of rubbish and litter and trash? Yes. But after I'd left Dan over here, I was working on a different bush, but we had to stop. Oh no, we scared her. I didn't make a flask on no electric day, so like total failure. But I've been sort of hacking at this. I mean, it looks fairly awful. But I've just paused because I found a little nest. I'm going to try and show you. She flew out and I've looked and there is an egg. So we're going to abort. I'm not going to disturb her too much. I'm going to stay right out of the way. But get to a point where hopefully...
It's Jeremy's great-granddaughter.
It could be Jeremy's family, I mean. But she's nesting now. She's in there, so I don't want to bother her. But there is a nest. So in that net, can you see her beak and her little beady eye? I can. Really, it just looks sort of a bit like I've massacred the bush. Good news is the wall's in perfect condition behind. So as soon as we can, we'll clear out that bed. But again, we'll let her do her thing and then we'll move on. Hopefully the chick will hatch fine soon, ASAP, and then fledge ASAP.
Hopefully. Not like we're short of a job or two, so we can have to crack on with something else. Not sure if you can hear me or not because of the birds, but obviously, you maybe don't know. I'm currently where the pony stables will be along this run, and we've got a leaking gutter. So I'm gonna hopefully fix that this morning. So the issue that we have is the connection that actually connects this gutter into the downpipe is sheared basically, so there's nothing other than the string holding the down pipe in place, which obviously is not going to be watertight. So we're just going to remove this. What I'm going to have to do is nip outside and get access to this because from here I can't. Just rang the apprentice to come and give us a hand. Balancing precariously on a tyre.
Oh my god.
Did it say?
Yeah, you're fine.
Just like anywhere?
Yeah, just walk straight forward there.
Into this hole?
There. Right?
This is not, I don't agree.
With what?
This plan.
You got them?
Yeah, I've got them!
No.
Yes!
No, wouldn't be proud of me.
My mum.
Me dad. But you go careful.
Oh my god, I can't even see it.
Yeah, that's fine. That is now in place to put the other bit on.
Okay.
It's just guttering, it just needs clearing out. It's full of little bits and pieces and soil and grass growing out of it.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Well, just getting blinded by the sunshine. Sun? Summertime!
You're my apprentice.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Could do some sealing around that.
And then
We need to open this a bit. Careful, can you hold it?
I'm just taking all the crap off this corner. I know. If I do it right, it won't really be needed.
Some good string, that.
I think what I need is sockets to get them off.
Socket kits in the house. I may or may not have forgotten to press record for the most important part of this, the connection at the top. However, it did go through quite seamlessly. Dan was not impressed that I'd forgotten. I'm so sorry. I feel like I'm about to apologise anyway, so I'll let myself do it. I'm really sorry, everybody, if I missed the most important bit. See ya.
Should we want to, we can fit a bracket and that ain't going to go anywhere.
Swinging back round into the cottage garden, this tree is one of many. We are a sycamore nursery at the moment, and although it's lovely to see new trees growing, sprouting, being their little tree selves, sycamore is not something that we can have going crazy on our site because the little helicopter seeds that float around when they get to their seeding age, which is in a good, 20 years, at that point, that's highly, highly, highly toxic and will kill horses. And everybody knows we've got horses. So it's just a flat no for sycamores to be allowed to proliferate here. Sycamores, remember, they're an invasive species. They're non-native, probably is the better terminology for it. And even though in the background you can see the ash dying from the dieback in the field, there are other species that are safe for horses and also aren't non-native. So we will be replacing a lot of the trees with native species that are not going to kill my animals. So this was one of 27.
New wheels.
There's even some there.
I'm concerned about hiring it because I think in about 3 hours you're going to come in and be like, want one?
No, I'm not, because I know how much the bloody costs.
Your beacon's on.
What?
Alrighty, I feel like we need to maybe somewhat explain this section, but first Dan needs to get past the farmhouse, which was tense.
Wait a bit.
Is it going to fit through?
It definitely will. It's
How?
because you're operating with like a twist.
How's it operating as a twister?
So you
I don't think we need to explain the drive modes of a telehandler. They're in here.
because you came into it angled.
That's my issue.
Yeah, I know. There you go. So now if you pull forward a little bit and then go back that way and then just get clear and then come this way. There you go.
That was me, I didn't realise that there went.
Yeah, I was trying to tell you that. Anyway, you only smushed a bit of hedge, so...
Can't even tell where I've been.
Is that a joke? Because you can.
There's no chance I was going to do that by myself.
No.
And you're just stood there criticising me driving.
I wasn't. I was trying to assist.
MTH.
Just
Flashing beacon!
It's already off now.
I turned it off, I didn't want it on. I'm not a hazard.
You can't just say that was it. Job done.
Job done.
Okay, it's time to explain. So we had the telehandler on hire for about 3 days, and the project was to move all of the logs that were cut in Big Timber video, I'll link to that above, was to move all of those into here to start the sorting process before they're cut and split and then stored for winter for about a year to dry.
I told him to go round because it's putting a bit too much pressure on the water pipe.
And in typical Scottish fashion, the weather changes every 30 or 40 minutes.
Bloody raining.
But no bother, Dan got to work. So if you're worrying about his back, me three, you guys. However, this job needed doing. There wasn't an alternative. So about 300,000 log loads later, we might have enough for winter. In all fairness, Dan did learn telehandler life really fast. I was quite impressed with him, especially because this little gap to get into our temporary log store is very, very narrow. It's not like it's an easy to drive into large agricultural shed or a bay fronted shed. It's a really, really tight knit and it's actually quite low. So I think he did a great job moving these in here. So you can see the space that we have in here to fill between here and the lawnmower area, or the poop pipe, if you remember that one. It's a pretty big space, right? It's a pretty big space. And so Dan spent literally
10-4 pot trucking.
the entire weekend doing this, and he enjoyed himself in the process. I'll play a bit.
Someone pull me up a double shot of whiskey. They'll need a Jack Daniel's got a history. Forward on. Here comes the 10% of the beat.
What's all this mess? So how would you say it's been going?
You are?
How would you say it's been going?
Alright. It's just a lot more logs than I thought there was.
I told you there was.
There's loads.
And off he goes again with his sing-song. So at the end of the first day, it looked like this. It involved dumping a load, moving it, pushing it backwards with the bucket, and then Dan literally sorted them all again. So every single log he picked up once, he had to pick up twice. And that's sad. But he's sorting them into general compartments, is all I'll say. So he has some form of a sorting metric. I don't understand it. Can't talk you through it, you guys. I'm no help in this scenario. But you can see how far we're going back and how tall they are. Dan is 6'4", 5-ish. And so it will give you a height reference for the height of some of those stacks.
We are in day 2 of telehandler life. The dry weather event yesterday is now just constant rain. So I'm getting wet.
And wet Dan did get. The rain was relentless, you guys. It was just a sort of never-ending stream. It did not change every 30 or 40 minutes. It was just a wet day. Actually, surprisingly rare where we are. So that's a win for us. Dan continued with his process of collecting logs in all the different places. So this is the tree that I was very, very, very sad to lose. The one that was actually sick and ill with the holes in the middle that we didn't know about at the start. And you can see how Dan's telehandler precision is actually quite good, because goodness gracious me, the bottom of that bucket, how close it got to the ivy in the wall. made me nervous. Squeaky bum time for me, but there we go. So I'm actually quite impressed with his skills. I didn't tell him that at this stage. I did wait. Didn't want his head to not fit through the telehandler cab door. But nonetheless, he continued. So this is sort of early-ish on day 2. Do you think we have enough logs?
And just like that, my alarm's going, saying we need sausage sandwiches.
Lunchtime! How much is left to move in, Dan?
The 3 trees that were over there.
Oh my god! So the 3, we still need 3 more trees to fit in. Where are we gonna, what?
I'll figure out.
So the 3 trees Dan was referring to were these ones that are sitting sort of like in front of the main farmhouse where the driveway goes past it. So I think you'll remember these were the ones that were the riskiest for the farmhouse itself and also the arches, because one of them, the one that Dan's collecting up at the moment, is only a couple of meters away from the arches building, and the other trees were very, very, very large. So we're starting this breakdown process. Some of the very large tree trunky base bits aren't movable in their current format. They need to be cut down even further. But Dan just continued chipping away and chipping away. We're watching, I think at this stage with this one clip, we're probably watching about an hour and a half sped up. Maybe perhaps a little bit less. Maybe. Who knows? And if you can see that blue pipe running down the front, that is literally the water that sustains our cottage. So you can understand why we need to change some stuff for winter, because at the first frost, she's gonna pop.
When rain or shine, we get the job done. We have put the forks on the telehandler and are now in the field. The little dot in the distance is Jess. Shall we go get her? We are removing the metal from the field so that come the end of July time it can be... I'm talking to my camera and you're interrupting me. So that come the end of July it can be cut for and then... Can I get under it? You said I could get under it! See, I'd just give her a bit of jiggery poke with horns, just a bit of speed here and there, it would be alright, wouldn't it? Well, I think if you go and stand where the next bit of metal is, I can whiz this down and then come back up. That's not going to go anywhere.
Ah, famous last words there, mate. I don't know why I didn't just use that gate. It's literally right there. Baffling. Probably because he didn't bring a knife and there's baling twine on it. Don't, you idiot.
Am I silly for letting Jess drive while I lift some metal up so it can go onto the forks?
Oh, I feel like I've hit something.
How did you find it, Jess?
It's easy, it's handling.
It's easy.
Technically, there were 4 pieces of metal and therefore we needed to find all of them from
Is
memory.
it just going to snap off?
Here we have a Jess in her natural habitat. I'm hung very well, thank you. Thank you very much.
No way. I'm sorry, you guys. It's going to be a bit wobbly, but he just put the ones we've just got into the other one and then picked them up without getting off. Who is he? We're all going to fall off coming down here. This is a bad plan. Bad plan.
It actually wasn't. It was a good plan. I'll hold my hands up. I was wrong. And here is the smuggest driver you ever did see. What a poppet.
But it's peeing it down with rain. It's a Sunday. I'm going to have a drink. I'm going to have a vodka. And first of all, I want to see if my blackbird is still there, because that will make my day if it is. So we'll try and have a peek without disturbing her too much. She's there. If you guys can just see her. See that little gap?
And at the end of the 2 3/4 days, this was what the log store looked like. We don't even have the big bases in yet. I think we're going to be all right for logs. But then it was time to have some fun. And I just thought I'd throw these little clips in here because I thought somebody might be interested in what some of the stuff is that we do with the dogs, apart from going to events and things. We also used to do agility pre-COVID, and at COVID, Pippi and Alfie stopped doing agility and have never restarted. So we managed to join the club with the amazing Steve, awesome at the yard where Toonie is. And after trying to remember how to walk and run courses, we tested Pip on a small height just to see if she still had it. She was living for this, absolutely living for this. So I think it's really good if you're doing like a renovation project or something to try and retain, if you possibly can, some form of fun or hobbies. And if you have working breed dogs, you guys, the dogs still need to be doing something. Even if I'm a useless handler and do a name check at the wrong time. Yes, it was Dan. Thanks for pointing that out. So it's not just me that did this. Me and Dan both used to run the dogs together in competition. So I've done it for a lot longer than Dan, but Dan always used to really enjoy it. And technically Pippi, this ginger collie, is Dan's dog. So it was really nice for Dan to also have a run with Pip, and she remembered everything. Her A-frame, her seesaw, her weavies. We didn't push her for 12, and all of her little sequences and handling. So, oh, yay for us. And the little bean sprout, lots of you have been like, where's Bright, where's Bright? You've seen her in the gardening videos because she's like a top gardening buddy. But Beanie also has never done agility before. We did some like very, very, very basic foundations when she was about a year old. She's coming up 4, I think now, maybe 3. I could be completely wrong. But we thought it was time to put the small out. So this is our little small size doggo. And we're starting doing some fun foundations, making sure that she's happy to go on all equipment. Thankfully, all of our puppy work, proprioception and stuff worked. Sometimes we get a bit stuck at jump points, so we just wait a second and let her figure it out. But yeah, I think this is probably going to be an odd one because some people are going to be like, yeah, dog agility. And other people are going to be like, you are batshit crazy at this point. I mean, it's not news to me. It shouldn't be news to you guys by now. And so, yeah, we do this every single week. All of the dogs are getting involved in doing little bits and pieces, which gives them an outlet that lets them use their brain in a really fun way and also lets us still build our relationship with them. So as we watched old Beanie figure that one out, I thought it was a fun thing to include. Please don't hate me. Thank you very much. And we will see you next time.